The phone call came through as I lay in a hospital bed, pain radiating from my abdomen like a fire I couldn't extinguish. "You can't keep asking us to drop everything, Sarah." My mother's voice blared through the speaker, sharp enough to cut through the haze of my painkillers. "We've had these Springsteen tickets for months." My 3-year-old twins, Lily and Noah, played quietly in the corner of my Las Vegas hospital room, unaware of the storm brewing. The nurse, Maria, adjusted my IV, her eyes soft with pity, as I gripped my phone, hand shaking. My mother's words stung worse than the internal bleeding the doctors were scrambling to fix. "I'm Sarah Mitchell, 35, and for my entire life, I've been the shadow in my family's spotlight, always second to my sister, Emily, their perfect daughter. Now, facing emergency surgery after losing my husband, David, 7 months ago, I dared to ask my parents to watch their grandkids. Their response? I was a burden, interrupting their retirement fun. My name is Sarah Mitchell, and this is the story of how I was pushed aside, fought for my children, and built a family that finally saw me. Stay with me, because if you've ever felt invisible to those who should love you most, you'll feel every beat of this, and the ending will show you what it means to stand tall." It was Christmas Eve, and I was alone in the hospital except for my twins and Maria's quiet kindness. The pain had started days ago, sharp and unrelenting, a complication from the stress and grief after David's death in a motorcycle crash. The doctors found internal hemorrhaging, requiring immediate surgery with no guarantee I'd wake up. I'd called my parents as a last resort, after every friend and neighbor was unavailable. "You're always so needy," my dad snapped on the video call, his face red with irritation. "We're retired, Sarah. We've earned our freedom, not your endless problems." Those words hit like a slap. For years, I'd sent them $3,000 a month to cover their bills and vacations, even after David's death drained our savings. I did it out of duty, believing family stuck together. Now, with my kids' future on the line, they chose a concert over us. Tears slipped down my cheeks, but I kept my voice steady. "I might not make it through this," I said. "My kids need you." My mom rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic. You'll be fine." Maria, overhearing, touched my arm. "My friend Carla's a nanny, specializes in kids with trauma. Want me to call her?" Her compassion cracked something open. In me. "Yes," I whispered, hanging up on my parents. In that moment, I decided, no more begging for their love. I was done with a family that saw me as a nuisance. My childhood was a parade of slights. When I won a science fair, my parents skipped it for Emily's dance recital. When I got into college on a scholarship, they threw a party for Emily's modeling gig. David, my anchor, understood. "We'll make our own family," he'd say, kissing my forehead. We did. Lily and Noah filled our home with joy. But when David died, the grief was crushing, and I leaned harder on my parents, upping their monthly payments despite my own financial strain. I thought it proved I was better than them. That family meant sacrifice. How wrong I was. As Maria prepped me for surgery, Carla arrived, her warm smile instantly calming the twins. "I've got them," she said, kneeling to their level. "You focus on getting through this." I nodded, my throat tight. Before they wheeled me away, I grabbed my phone and sent 2 texts, one to my bank, canceling all future transfers to my parents, the other to them. "I'm done supporting you. My kids, and I deserve more than being your afterthought. Don't contact me." As the anesthesia took hold, I felt a strange relief. Whatever happened, I'd chosen us. The surgery was a success, but recovery was brutal. I spent 6 days in the hospital, weak and foggy, haunted by the what-ifs. What if I hadn't made it? What if my kids were left with my parents who'd see them as burdens? Carla was a godsend, staying with Lily and Noah during the day, taking them to our apartment at night. My phone buzzed with 32 missed calls and texts from my parents and Emily. Their messages followed a pattern: shock, then fury, then begging. "How dare you cut us off?" my dad wrote. "We need that money for our Hawaii trip." My mom: "You're being selfish, Sarah. Think of us." Not one asked about my surgery or the twins. Emily's texts were different. "Mom said you had a minor procedure. Why's everyone freaking out about money?" It hit me. They'd lied to her, downplaying my emergency to justify their absence. Still groggy, I texted her the truth. It was life or death surgery. They chose a concert over watching the twins. "I'm done." Her reply came fast. "I had no idea. They said you were exaggerating. I'd have helped. I'm so sorry. When I left the hospital, I was frail but resolute. I hired Carla part-time for the twins during my recovery, contacted a lawyer to draft a will naming my friend Rachel as their guardian. No way my parents would get near them, and blocked their numbers, allowing only Emily cautious contact. The $3,000 I'd sent them was nearly half my income as a freelance illustrator. Without that weight, I could afford Carla and start rebuilding the savings David's death had wiped out. That first night home, with the twins asleep, I felt a mix of fear and freedom. Fear for the future, recovery was slow, bills were looming, but also a spark of self-worth. I wasn't just a daughter anymore. I was a mother, and my kids deserved better. Emily texted, "Fought with Mom and Dad. They're awful about you. I'm at a motel. Can we talk tomorrow?" A flicker of hope stirred. Maybe I wasn't as alone as I'd thought. 2 weeks post-surgery, I was hobbling but healing. The scar ached, but I managed better each day. Carla's help let me work from home, and my clients, mostly small publishers, were kind about delays. Emily visited, bringing soup and toys for the twins. "I thought you pulled away from us," she admitted, watching Noah stack blocks. "I didn't know they were pushing you out." I saw her anew, not the spoiled sister, but someone shaped by our parents' favoritism. "They made it feel normal," I said, but it wasn't. Then came the knock I'd dreaded. Through the peephole, my parents stood, my mom clutching. Her purse, my dad's face set in a scowl. I opened the door a crack. "What do you want?" "We're worried," my mom cooed, her tone fake sweet. "You've ignored us." "I'm recovering," I said. "What's this about?" My dad shoved forward. "The bank's on us about the mortgage. We had to use our vacation fund. Fix this." I stared, stunned. "No, how are you? No, are the kids okay?" "Just money." "I told you, I'm done," I said. "But we rely on you," my mom wailed. "You promised to help." "Promised?" I snapped. "I helped because I thought family cared. You left my kids stranded during my surgery." My dad's eyes narrowed. "We had plans. You can't hold that against us." "Plans over my life?" I said, voice rising. "I could have died." Silence. Then my mom, teary. "One mistake? And you punish us?" "It's not punishment," I said, calm now. "It's survival." Lily toddled over, clutching a teddy. My mom reached for her, cooing, but Lily shrank back, confused. "They don't know you," I said. "You've barely seen them. Leave." I shut the door, heart pounding but head clear. The next day they were back with my Aunt Linda, their self-appointed mediator. "Be reasonable, Sarah," Linda called through the door. "They're struggling without your money." "They chose retirement knowing their savings were thin," I replied. "I'm recovering and raising 2 kids. This isn't my problem." My mom's voice broke in. "We're losing the house." "Sell your RV," I said, "or your timeshare." My dad, "We'd lose money." I walked away, their knocking fading. Later, my dad sent a family-wide email, painting me as a cruel, daughter who'd abandoned them after their sacrifices. He left out their concert choice, framing me as ungrateful. It backfired. My cousin Ben replied, "Didn't you just get a new RV, Uncle Tom? And Aunt Carol? Wasn't that a Rolex?" At Easter, others messaged me privately, asking for the truth. Even Linda called, chastened. They said it was a routine procedure. I didn't know it was serious. I sent one reply to the family thread. I had emergency surgery with a risk of death. My parents refused to watch my kids because of a concert. I'm focusing on my recovery and my twins. The support was overwhelming. Ben's wife brought lasagna. A distant cousin offered free babysitting. Emily started weekly visits, bonding with the twins. Maria connected me to a support group for young widowed parents, and their Zoom meetings became my lifeline, a space where my grief was understood. My parents' world unraveled. Emily, who dug into their finances, found they'd taken a second mortgage for their RV, banking on my endless support. "They're not broke," she said, "just reckless. They could sell the RV and timeshare, and be fine." Their texts grew desperate, then stopped as I stayed firm. A month post-surgery, Emily called. "They got a foreclosure notice. 60 days to pay or they lose the house." "Their retirement savings?" I asked, rocking Noah. "Gone," she said, "spent on the RV and some scam investment." That night, my mom texted, "We thought you'd cave after a week. We never meant to lose you." The assumption I'd fold burned. They'd never seen me as a person, just a resource. Meanwhile, my life was blooming. The support group introduced me to Rachel, a widowed mom and accountant who helped me plan a move to a cheaper suburb, trading my cramped apartment for a 3-bedroom house with a yard. I started a side hustle designing custom memory books for grieving families, inspired by one I'd made for David. It grew fast, letting me cut back on illustration work and focus on meaning. My community expanded. Neighbors welcomed us. The support group hosted playdates. Emily became a true sister. Even Maria dropped by with her kids. I'd lost so much, yet felt fuller than ever. 3 months after surgery, my parents sold their house to dodge foreclosure, moving to a small condo. Emily kept me updated. "They blame you. Tell everyone you promised lifelong support." "Let them," I said, unbothered. The truth had won. My family rallied around me, my aunt apologizing for her role. My house became a haven, the twins thriving in their new space. The memory book business took off, easing financial strain. 6 months out, a letter arrived from my mom, handwritten, a first. "I was jealous of your strength," she wrote. "I failed. You during your surgery. I'm sorry. No pleas for money, just regret." She mentioned therapy, a part-time job for my dad selling their luxuries. Emily confirmed. Dad's heart scare shook them. They're trying. I wasn't ready to reply, but I filed the letter away, a maybe for later. A year after surgery, I met my parents at a quiet diner. They looked different, humbler, in plain clothes. The twins were with Emily. I wasn't ready for more. Silence hung until my dad, eyes wet, spoke. "I've been a terrible father and grandfather. I don't expect forgiveness, but I'm sorry." My mom added, "Therapy's helped us see how selfish we were." I showed them twin photos, shared our new life. They listened, no demands. As we parted, my dad asked, "Could we meet the twins someday?" "Maybe," I said. "Show me change, not words." Walking away, I felt no old guilt or anger, just clarity. I'd gone from a daughter craving approval to a mother guarding her own. My parents' change was uncertain, but mine was real. I'd built a family, Emily, Rachel, Carla, my community, that saw me, not as an afterthought, but as an anchor. That Christmas Eve call was meant to break me. Instead, it set me free, and every step since, every book sold, every twin giggle, every supportive hug, proved I was enough for my kids and myself.